Scholarship opportunities in refrigeration and air conditioning. Study at the Institute of Technical and Vocational Education and Training, ITVET, 2026 to 2027 school year. The National Ozone Unit, NOU, Department of the Environment, coordinate Belize's implementation of the Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer to build the skilled workforce needed to safely service next-generation climate-friendly refrigerants. The NOU is offering 12 full scholarships for the one-year Refrigeration and Air Conditioning RAC program at participating ITVET institutions. The program supports Belize's phase-down of HFCs, the phase-out of HCFCs, and the safe adoption of energy-efficient low GWP refrigerants. Eligibility and conditions. Citizen or permanent resident of Belize, accepted into or eligible for admission to the RAC program at a participating ITVET. Genuine interest in a career in the RAC sector and commitment to completing the full 12-month program. Good character and discipline and compliance with the policies of the training institution. Female applicants are strongly encouraged to apply. A minimum of 4 of the 12 scholarships will be awarded to qualified female applicants. Scholarship benefits. Each scholarship is awarded for 1 calendar year, 12 months, and covers full tuition, testing and certification fees, personal protective equipment PPE for the safe handling of flammable and low GWP refrigerants, essential refrigeration and air conditioning tools. Recipients must maintain satisfactory academic progress, uphold the standards of their institution, and support the objectives of the scholarship program. Scholarship essay question. Belize is transitioning away from refrigerants that damage the ozone layer and contribute to climate change, and the country needs skilled refrigeration and air conditioning technicians to make this transition possible. In an essay of 400 to 500 words, tell us, why do you want to build a career in the refrigeration and air conditioning sector, and how do you see yourself contributing to your community and to Belize's environmental commitments as a trained RAC technician? Your essay should address A. Your personal motivation and any experience that has shaped your interest in this trade. B. The difference you hope your training will make for you, your family, or your community. And C. Your understanding of why properly trained technicians matter for the safe handling of refrigerants and the protection of Belize's environment. Essays will be assessed on sincerity and personal insight, clarity of expression, and awareness of the trade's importance, not on technical knowledge. Essay must be applicant's own original work. Application package. 1. Complete essay of 400 to 500 words. 2. Letter of acceptance into the RAC program at any of the ITVET Center. All interested persons must submit their completed application together with the ITVET letter of acceptance and the essay no later than Friday, 4th September 2026. Applications may be delivered in person to the address below or submitted electronically to the email address indicated. Refrigeration Scholarship Program. Chief Environmental Officer, Department of the Environment, 7552 Hummingbird Highway, Belmopan City. Telephone number 822-2816. Email ozone@environment.gov.bz. For more information, visit www.doe.gov.bz.
This is Love Television's news broadcast, Love Live at 6. I am Ernesto Vasquez, and these are our leading stories. Defense audit identifies more players in questionable contracts and transactions. The Auditor General recommends a police investigation into BDF military tourism funds. A wider audit findings reveal missing records, unauthorized spending, and poorly managed BDF accounts. Environmental groups flag drainage canals as the Belize River fish kill investigation widens. Maclovia Ak wins the PUP mayoral nomination in Punta Gorda. Coast Guard personnel seek answers over meal allowances. Transport and Home Affairs signed an agreement to improve police access to vehicle information. Unions cancel Tuesday's BTL Smart demonstration, and the Public Service Union elects new members to its national executive. Don't go away. Stay with us for those stories and more.
So it started off like any other summer day in Belize. I decided to go down to Builders Hardware since I heard they had 25% off on summer outdoor products. I got a couple of items, a chair, a grill, a cooler, and I got carried away, but the prices were so good. But anyways, I might have gotten comfortable, maybe too comfortable. Then I saw the news, man, the hurricane season was not playing with me. But thank God Builders also had 25% off hurricane preparedness items as well. Flashlights, batteries, sealant, first aid kits, everything I need. And guess what? My grill survived.
Introducing GrowWatt, a global leader in distributed energy solutions, delivering innovative solar technology trusted around the world. Engineered for reliability, designed for sustainability, built to power every scenario, powering homes, empowering businesses, creating a smarter energy future for Belize. For residential hybrid systems that maximize energy independence, to homes across Belize benefiting from smarter, more efficient power management. GrowWatt off-grid solar storage solutions bring dependable electricity to locations beyond the traditional power grid, providing clean, reliable energy whenever and wherever it is needed. For businesses, GrowWatt delivers powerful commercial and industrial energy solutions that help reduce operating costs while improving energy security, including proven installations right here in Belize, helping businesses operate efficiently with dependable solar energy systems. As transportation evolves, GrowWatt EV charging solutions help power the future with clean energy. Need power on the move? GrowWatt portable solar power solutions provide flexible energy for construction sites, events, emergency applications, and temporary installations. GrowWatt delivers energy-smart solutions for a greener future. Distributed in Belize by Lano Supplies, 112 Ranchita Village, Corozal Town.
Over the past 5 years, Digi has invested more than $17 million to revolutionize Belize's digital future. Our advanced 4G LTE network and expanded fiber infrastructure have empowered vital road arteries, connected the farthest valleys and fertile farmlands, linked the bustling cities to the remote keys, and brought cutting-edge connectivity to schools, businesses, healthcare centers, and tourist destinations, fueling economic growth, enhancing education, and strengthening communities across the nation. By choosing Digi, you're leading Belize's digital transformation, bridging distances, opening opportunities, and empowering every corner of our beautiful country. Connect with Digi. Empower Belize.
traveler. Are you?
Belize is growing, and as our nation grows, so does the demand for electricity and new energy solutions. More homes, more businesses, more opportunities. BEL continues to strengthen the system that supports this growth, reinforcing infrastructure and solidifying capacity, preparing for what's ahead, ensuring reliable service for homes, for businesses, and for communities across Belize. Keeping the lights on every single day. Belize Electricity Limited, prepared for growth, prepared for Belize.
Pelican is more than just brewed in Belize. It's made of Belize. And being made of Belize means being authentic, unique, and proud. This is what that looks like. Pelican, the beer of Belize. There are many stories to be shared about what it means to be made of Belize. Join Pelican in celebrating our Belizean heritage by sharing your unique story. A few of these stories will be selected to be produced into Pelican Made of Belize videos. Those chosen will receive Pelican beer for a year and will be invited to join us during production. Let's tell the stories of what it means to be made of Belize. Please send us a WhatsApp message at 630-6519 or email us at madeofbelize@skz.bz.
Good evening. Welcome to the evening news here on Love Television for today, the 17th day of August, 2026. As the audit continues at the Ministry of Defence, Love News understands that the preliminary findings are pointing to several other people who may have played a role in several other questionable contracts and transactions. Auditor General Maria Rodriguez confirmed that additional players have surfaced, but she would not identify them or say exactly what the auditors have found, stressing that the work is still underway and no final conclusions have been reached. The audit team hopes to wrap up its investigation by the end of September. It is only then that a determination can be made on whether any of the findings should be sent to the police.
We plan to submit the first report by at least the end of September. And so the others will come in 1 month after the other. And I must say, Renee, that the conflict of interest identified by the media is not the only conflict of interest we have found. There are more. Not with ministers. Let me not put you there. Not with ministers. With other people within the service. So it's big. It's really big, and so we must do a fair job to the public. We must do a proper audit trails and follow up the records that exist, so that we do not provide you with a wrong conclusion.
Let me push the envelope. So if it's not with ministers, it would be with who?
Public officers.
Or public officers within that ministry?
Within that ministry, yes. Unfortunately, I cannot share findings at this time, but I can say that we have some strong recommendations, and one of them, and if the government is serious about accountability, is to begin a process for disclosing conflict of interest even at the level of ministers, at the cabinet level.
The audit began after it was revealed that relatives of former Minister of State in the Ministry of Defense, Oscar Mera, had received significant contracts from the ministry. The questions go beyond who received the contracts. Auditors are examining how the contracts were awarded, who approved the work, and how the invoices and payments were processed. And some of those transactions were reportedly handled outside the established government system and contrary to procurement and accounting procedures. The auditors are also checking whether the goods and services listed on the invoices were actually delivered. We asked Defense Ministry Chief Executive Officer Francis Usher whether he has been briefed on those preliminary findings and what information has been shared with the ministry.
I haven't been privy to any findings, but in the entry interview, they did highlight what their lines of inquiry will be. I do know that they have collected all of the necessary files from 2020 to 2026. And then the Prime Minister did ask them to go as far back as 2015. So they are in the process of getting those files now. And I believe that the entire audit will not finish within the initial time frame, but that the initial line of inquiry, which is the perceived conflict of interest, that report would be submitted within the time frame, and then they would proceed with the other lines of inquiry.
If the final report uncovers evidence of fraud or misuse of public funds, the matter could be referred to the Police Department and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Meanwhile, the newly released Auditor General's report for 2017-2018 has caused a case of suspected fraud to resurface. The 10-year-old incident involves money collected through what Auditor General Maria Rodriguez calls military tourism. The arrangement allowed foreign soldiers to pay for jungle training and the use of BDF facilities, personnel and equipment. Between January 2015 and May 2016, more than $234,000 was paid out by a foreign agency, but it was not deposited into a BDF bank account. The concerns were serious enough for the Auditor General to recommend that the Defense Ministry Chief Executive Officer make a report to the police.
The 2017-2018, if you look at the individual reports in Chapter 5, we did find an alleged conflict of interest, which is classified as fraud, and we recommended that the matter be forwarded to the police. And the regulations speaks in that order that we must, if we find fraud, not we, but in the government there is fraud, that the matter is to be forwarded to the police. In this 16-17, we initiated this investigation on German jungle training. And so what we found is that when the army had come, they paid a private business rather than paid the BDF or paid the government for doing jungle training. But when you go through the report, you will realize that what the company, the private company had offered, which was co-owned by a BDF officer, they offered a tour package plus jungle training. And so the business advertised for a tour package plus jungle training, where the jungle training will be offered by the BDF at the cost of the BDF, by the way. And that's why we thought it was important to bring up, because it was at the cost of the BDF that this jungle training was provided, along with some other services for the tour package that was being offered by this private company. And so using the BDF for private gain is considered a major misconduct. And in this case, it was an alleged conflict of interest because the company was co-owned by a BDF officer who knows that the BDF can offer jungle training. It has been offering jungle training to other armies. And so that's how that tourism business came about. And in fact, I believe the term that was given to us was military tourism that was occurring at the time.
The Auditor General went ahead to flag the arrangement as an apparent conflict of interest. Auditors were unable to determine how much the Germans paid the company or whether the BDF received everything it was owed. Rodriguez says her team followed the paper trail after discovering that some of the money had gone into an officer's personal bank account. She says the auditors then took steps to make more and sure subsequent payments went directly to the BDF.
Because of the audit, we asked that the funds be deposited to the government because we saw where the expenditure came out of the government's pocket. And so that transaction did occur. It was deposited to the account, and that's how we found out who exactly was that private company, because all of that was being covered until we went to the extreme to ask for the deposit slip as to who made the deposit to the government, to the BDF account.
So eventually the money was deposited into the BDF account?
Yes, and if you look at the report, it was deposited a year after the training was given, a year and a half after the training had occurred with the Germans. But because the audit came about, if nobody had found out that it was paid to the private company would have kept it because it was them collecting for jungle training and the store package.
So in this case, you have recommended that this be reported to the police.
Police, yes, because
even though the money has been.
What I understood from the present commandant, because he was asked by the JPACAS to provide an update of the situation, and I understand that the gentleman was disciplined internally by, I guess the security services have their own disciplinary procedures. He was disciplined, but was not dismissed. He's about to retire, if I'm not mistaken, this year and next year, and possibly will receive his full benefits as a retiree.
So you're recommending that be reviewed?
Yeah, well, the report says clearly that he had to be dealt with accordingly through the civil court, through the criminal courts, because we found fraud. No, the idea was to proceed not internally but outside. I did not even recommend that they deal with it internally. I recommended at the time that it be dealt with through the courts. No.
Well, the Auditor General recommended the officer involved be made to account for money received but not reflected in the BDF account. And with the second call for criminal charges to be laid, CEO Francis Usher says the Ministry of Defence is moving ahead with the Auditor General's recommendations in the matter involving former BDF officer Charlton Roches. The report links Roches to money collected from foreign military groups for jungle training and the use of BDF facilities and the equipment. The auditors trace some of those funds to his personal bank account instead of an official BDF account. Usher says the ministry has reviewed the findings and taking the necessary steps to have the matter reported to the police.
I am in the process of reviewing her report now. I do know that I'm scheduled to appear sometime in September for the Joint Public Accounts Committee to review and discuss the report. We are reviewing it with the legal counsel and everyone internally, and then we'll see where we go from there. From that time, I recall that we had a jungle schoolhouse that was providing training to foreign soldiers, particularly Germans, and in some cases, some Dutch soldiers. I understand that a private company that was owned by a member of the force was the one that was being contracted to conduct these trainings. And the particulars of that were highlighted in the Auditor General's report that we're currently reviewing. But I do know that at that time, there were several cycles of Germans that were coming down to train. I believe they called it the jungle experience. So I don't know for certain if the funds were paid back or how many or how much funds were paid back. I know that around that same time, there were some internal charges that were levied against Colonel Roches. I think that he challenged those charges and he ended up, the charges were overturned because of procedural flaws, I believe. We're in the process of reviewing all of that. But yes, there were issues, significant issues around that time. And whatever the legal opinion at that time is, that's what we will pursue.
Well, the concerns raised in the 2016-2017 Auditor General's report go well beyond the money collected for jungle training. Chapter 5 points to several BDF accounts where hundreds of thousands of dollars were either poorly managed, spent without proper records, or handled outside the government's accounting system. The transactions happened mainly in 2015 and 2016, but they appear in the 2017-2018 report because the audits and follow-up work continued during that period. Among the findings are $62,735.73 in BDF credit card purchases that were not properly accounted for. The auditors also flagged more than $220,000 in suspected mismanagement involving another Atlantic Bank account. A further $63,902.05 were collected and spent as petty cash without authorization. That money was handled outside the government's approved accounting system. The BDF Benevolent Fund also came under scrutiny. The auditors examined $39,180 in receipts and spending and found weaknesses in how contributions were recorded, how payments were approved, and how the bank account was reconciled. A follow-up check of the 10 blank duplicate receipts uncovered another $3,302 that could not be accounted for. CEO Francis Usher says the ministry has since made changes to tighten the way BDF funds are handled.
So I do know that we have put a lot of safeguards in place internally. We have since hired an internal auditor, the Inspector General, who is a trained auditor. He audits all of the non-public funds on an annual basis. So he audits the Benevolent Fund, the BDF Fund, all of the non-public funds that fall under the Ministry of National Defense and Border Security. In addition to that, it is not as easy for one or even two people to get funds released. It requires an entire system and layers of approvals before funds can be released and multiple signatories on the checks that can be released from these accounts. So these are all internal safeguards that we've put in place to ensure that this sort of alleged mismanagement can never occur again.
Our newsroom will keep updating these stories on the 2017 and 2018 report and its findings. Moving on, investigations into the recent fish kill along sections of the Belize River have taken a new turn as environmental organizations say they have identified several potential sources of pollution that warrant closer scrutiny. As part of a joint investigation, members of the Maya Forest Corridor and partner organizations conducted field visits earlier this week, mapping waterways that feed into the Belize River. They say they located 3 canals between Cotton Tree and Bermudan Landing that discharge directly into the river, along with additional canals connected to a rice farm on Laboring Creek. According to the group, satellite imagery indicates that all 3 canals flowing directly into the Belize River originate within Santander sugar cane fields.
So the Department of Environment received a report of a fish kill affecting the Belize River Valley on August the 3rd. We immediately put together a team and deployed the team out in the fields to collect the data that we need. When the Department of Environment is informed of a fish kill, we look at 3 possible outcomes or causes, I should say. One is we look at the possibility of it being disease-related. We also look at the possibility of it being toxicity, where certain toxic contaminants are placed within the water body. We also look to see if there's any possibility of a high level of organic matter that is enters the water body, because, again, 3 of these approach has certain outcomes. We liaised with several local experts in Belize to discuss the possibility of it being disease-related. We were informed and we agree that the possibility of it being a disease is quite low, and so we kind of ruled that out. The reasons for that is because the experts are saying that when a disease affects an aquatic ecosystem, the disease are species specific, meaning that they impact one species alone. The evidence that we have shows that several different species of fish were impacted. In fact, we were informed and we saw that even crocodiles and turtles to some degree were impacted. So that, in a sense, ruled out the possibility of it being a disease. We kind of put together two teams to go out into the field to observe what's going on and to collect water quality data. We had a team deployed from Cotton Tree all the way up in Belompan area before the Santander discharge channel. They conducted sampling from around the Banana Bank area. We also collected samples from an area between that point and Santander's discharge channel, and I'll show you where that channel is. We took samples from 150 meters upstream from Santander discharge channel at the canal, and then 150 meters downstream. We also took samples at St. Paul's Bank, Isabella Bank, Flowers Bank, and Barrel Boom. We also took samples from Santander effluent treatment pond, from the drainage network within the farm, and from the canal itself. And so the water quality assessment was quite extensive. We conducted what is called in situ sampling. That means sample on site. The data that we collected were data of the water quality at that point in time. And we also collected what is called grab sample. So we collected sample in a bottle. We brought these samples to our lab to get tested. We observed that the area between St. Paul's Bank and Grace Bank was the area most impacted. That is where we found most of the dead fish. And also the data will show that that is the area where the water quality was spurious, basically, as it relates to dissolved oxygen in particular.
During Monday's inspection, investigators reported finding a dead tilapia and several fish skeletons in one of the canals, while nearby residents claimed the canal experienced unusually high water flows during the period when the fish kill occurred. The canal has drawn additional attention because in 2012 Santander, then operating as Green Tropics, was fined for cutting the waterway through a protected area. While the Department of the Environment continues its investigation, environmental advocates are calling for more transparency.
Apart from Santander Farm, there are several different large farms within the area. In particular, we found a rice field in the area that is of significant concern to us. The rice field basically drains its flooded water directly into the Laboring Creek, and the Laboring Creek leads directly into the Belize River. Santander's effluent discharge pond. It is important to inform the public that Santander's effluent discharge pond does not lead directly into the Belize River. In fact, it leads into the drainage network in the field, and the water from within the drainage network is used for irrigation. In terms of water quality, again, in terms of in situ data, the data that we collected in the field, this image shows that 150 meters upstream from Santander Canal, the dissolved oxygen level was 7.36. At Santander Canal, it was 1.93, so you could see a significant reduction. 150 meters downstream from Santander's discharge, the dissolved oxygen level went up back to 6.1. And then at St. Paul Bank, it went down again to 2.39. Isabella Bank, in all the water quality data, is where the water quality was its poorest. In this case, the dissolved oxygen was 1.28 milligrams per liter. At Flowers Bank, it went to 1.58, doublehead cabbage 2 milligrams per liter, and at Barrel Boom, the dissolved oxygen level was 6.19. So in all samples, the degradation of water started at St. Paul's Bank to some degree, well, in this case, Santander's canal, but where the impact was most noted was from St. Paul's Bank to Barrel Boom. Barrel Boom is where the water quality began to improve. In terms of observation also, we requested support from the Pesticide Control Board. They went to Santander Farm, and they found that Santander had within their storerooms 8 different agrochemicals that they use, and I won't try to pronounce all the names here because they're a bit very technical. But I want to highlight amitrin. So that is one of the chemicals that they use in the field. And during the chemical analysis of water samples that we have done, we have found traces of amitrin, but we're trying to determine at this point the level. So they also use 2,4-D and etc. So these are 8 different agrochemicals that are used at Santander Farm. It's important that we obtain this information because this will help us determine any connectivity or trace between what they use and what we find in the field. So in terms of preliminary data of the chemical analysis that we're doing on the water samples at the Santander, in the Santander drainage network, we have found 8 chemicals of concern. At the Santander Canal, we have found 32 chemicals of concern. At the Santander Effluent Pond, we found 15 chemicals of concern. And then 150 meters upstream, we found 10 chemicals of concern. Again, noting that, again, these agrochemicals could come from areas from Santander and from outside Santander because the entire area is an agricultural development area. We're still pending sediment samples. We have 7 samples that we took. Again, if it is a chemical deposition within the river, the residues of those chemicals will be trapped in sediments, and the analysis will show any chemicals of concern. So, and then we have the fish tissue chemical analysis that is still being run. Again, it's just Murphy's Law. We had all intention to have the results of these 2 samples, at least the fish tissue sample, ready by Friday, but again, it's just we have some issues with the equipment, but we are working those issues out.
In other news, questions are being raised over meal allowances for members of the Belize Coast Guard after personnel were informed today that they would not receive a per diem that they believed had been approved for both the Coast Guard and the Belize Defence Force. According to information reaching our newsroom, Coast Guard personnel were advised by the ministry's Chief Executive Officer, Francis Usher, and Coast Guard Commandant Rear Admiral Gregory Soberanis that the payment would not be made to them. That information caused concern among some members who believe the allowance had been presented as a benefit that would apply across both security forces. They are now seeking clarification on whether the Coast Guard was ever included, what the approved policy actually provides, and whether the arrangement applies only to BDF soldiers. We contacted CEO Usher, who told us what is taking place and sought to clarify the difference between the meal arrangements for the 2 security forces.
I'm glad you're giving me the opportunity to clarify it. So when everything, like I said, started to bubble over, we started to look at different proposals, different options, what we could do. And one of the options was one that is not original to me. I'll tell you the truth. It's what most developed countries do with their militaries, which is feeding per diem. And then the soldiers themselves have the spending power to be able to choose what they want in terms of meals, and who is operational or operationally deployed to a remote area is given an MRE. Now, this is a proposal that we started to run the numbers and see if it could work. Then I began to dialogue with the BDF, with the Coast Guard, and Admiral Soberanis said, well, because of the manner in which we operate for the Coast Guard, we are still able to take our fresh rations to deployed locations because we load the boat at Coast Guard base and we offload it at our forward operating base. We don't need to walk anywhere. We're not in a remote location. We have access to a kitchen everywhere we go. So fresh rations work for us. In the case of the BDF, they were receiving fresh rations, but they were also receiving a lot of canned goods. So the MRE option does work for them. So what we did was we bought the amount of MREs needed, and then we realized, okay, how can we get a good feeding allowance for the soldiers? And we started to run the numbers, and we are able to provide the soldiers. Now, prior to that, the daily entitlement for food was $13.50 per soldier per day. And that's how we kind of distributed all of the different rations, all of the different ingredients. We were able to get that up to $17 per soldier per day, regardless of whether you're deployed or not. And you will receive that. So if you're on camp, you will now have that money available to be able to buy your meals. For the soldiers that work on camps, they typically commute, so they can eat at home in the morning, eat at home in the evenings, and they have the $17 available. Additionally, you work, the typical rotation is 14 days off, 14 days on, 5 days off. So you're home for, at least 1 week out of every month. Also, if you're operationally deployed, you are still receiving the $17 a day, as well as receiving an MRE for the deployment. Now, we were able to do that because we're utilizing the funds that were already approved and available within the recurrent budget for the fresh rations that we're buying. In the case of the Coast Guard, we have to continue to buy the fresh rations. So it would have required us to either get a supplemental or budget for it properly the next financial year, which is what we chose to do. The Coast Guard will receive their feeding per diem, just that it will be rolled out in April when we budgeted for it properly.
So essentially, it's nothing close to what is being reported.
Nothing close. That's complete mischief. Complete.
The Ministries of Transport and Home Affairs have formalized an agreement to improve the exchange of information between transport officials and law enforcement. CEO in the Ministry of Transport, Chester Williams, says a memorandum of understanding has been signed with the Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Home Affairs, allowing authorized personnel to access information through the Transport Department's database. The agreement is expected to provide the Police Department with quicker access to vehicle registration and ownership information needed during investigations and other law enforcement operations. Williams discussed the purpose of the MOU and the importance of closer collaboration between the two ministries during an appearance on today's edition of the Morning Show.
Myself and the CEO in the Ministry of Home Affairs signed an MOU in respect to the sharing of information, because the same way how we want information from the police want information from us. And the police cannot give us information if they do not know what we're going to do with the information. And likewise, we will not give information if we do not know what the information is going to be used for. So the MOU between the Department of Transport and the Ministry of Home Affairs is for the exchange of information. So we at Transport want information in respect to traffic accidents, persons issued tickets, so that we can know what are the hotspots on the highways for us to do enforcement. And the police want information from us in respect to the database that houses vehicle registration. Mm-hmm. So having signed the MOU, the CEO from Home Affairs is supposed to get a computer. I just spoke to him again last week, and we discussed it further, and he is supposed to get a computer, and the computer will be given to Transport to put the BMVAL database on that computer, and it will be housed, I believe, where the police camera room is. Mm-hmm. So linked to the camera system that the police has. Whenever the police request any information from Transport pertinent to the identification of any vehicle involved in any criminal activity, mm-hmm. Transport Department provides information for them immediately. As a matter of fact, sometimes police officers would contact me directly without following the proper protocols, and I still accommodate because I understand the nature of police investigation and the urgency with which those information may be needed. Secondly, Transport Department being the department that is responsible for taking in information pertinent to the registration of vehicles in this country, we have an obligation to make sure that the information we collect from the public is kept to a certain extent with certain degree of integrity, and that if we share those information, that it is shared for the right reasons.
Williams told us the arrangement establishes a formal framework for sharing information while ensuring that access to the database is controlled and used only for legitimate official purposes. The cooperation is also expected to reduce delays in obtaining vehicle information, allow the two ministries to respond more efficiently when conducting investigations or carrying out enforcement duties. The planned union demonstration over BTL's proposed acquisition of SpeedNet Communications has been called off. The National Trade Union Congress of Belize says union presidents met over the weekend and agreed that the protest scheduled for Tuesday will no longer proceed. The decision follows Cabinet's rejection of the proposed acquisition and a response issued by BTL on Friday. NTUCB President LOH says the Congress believes there are now other pressing national matters that can be addressed more effectively through a press conference. The unions had maintained that Cabinet's rejection of the transaction was not enough and had called for BTL's board of directors to formally rescind its earlier approval. Belize National Teachers Union President Nadia Callis had said the demonstration would remain at the table, but we were told that planned protest has since been cancelled. Following meetings among the union presidents over the weekend, however, the NTUCB agreed to replace the demonstration with a press conference tomorrow, which says the event will allow the unions to address the BTL matter as well as other important national issues. Meanwhile, the Public Service Union of Belize has elected several new members to its national executive. The elections were held during the PSU's 104th Annual General Meeting on August 13 and 14 at the Santa Elena Sports Complex. Anissa Perdomo was elected first Vice President, Emil Corden as National Treasurer, and Candy Cadle as Assistant Secretary General. Adrian Tech and Christopher Broster were elected councillors, while Herman Pastor Jr. and Glenfield Dennison were elected trustees. Shane Reno was also elected Assistant National Treasurer for a year after the position became vacant during the meeting. The newly elected officers will serve alongside PSU President Dean Flowers and the other sitting executive members. Most of the new officers will serve 2-year terms ending in 2028. We have more news ahead. Don't go away, stay with us. We'll be back with that on the other side of this commercial break.
It was rainy, muddy, playing in a whole heap of mud.
We actually started working out of an apartment with about 6 of us. It was only 9 of us.
About 15 of us, not sure where we were heading.
I came from Cancun, Mexico for an interview and I didn't go back.
First time working a big girl job.
And if you didn't know, you had to figure it out. I didn't know anything about plumbing, so I had to study YouTube.
We won the bid.
I definitely have to ask your boss to give you a raise. I plan on retiring here.
8:39 in the night, I'm still picking up the phone.
And each layer matters, guys.
I want to see or hear people say that Design Depot is a family.
Design Depot to me is like a family.
And we all combine to make this one beautiful Sunday dinner. I don't know who might be the salad, but
1, 2, 3.
Never stop.
People, not businesses, power the economy. And they deserve to be acknowledged, appreciated, and compensated for their efforts. Because when your people are successful, so is your business. Neo People, simplify your HR and payroll needs with one powerful solution.
Commercial Cleaning and Products of Belize, CCP, formerly known as Carpet Care Plus, offers a wide variety of professional restorative cleaning services and products in Belize. With over 20 years of experience in the industry, our mission has always been to provide our customers with the best products and services for quality, safe, and environmentally friendly cleaning. What separates us from the rest? The services we offer. Fabric cleaning for all types of carpets, upholstery, walls, and drapes. Vehicle detailing for both the interior and exterior. Total restorative cleaning of ceramic and porcelain tiles for floors, walls, marble, granite, limestone, travertine, clay, and more. Degreasing and polishing of the entire kitchen and all its equipment. Also custom concrete designs. We are a supplier of the most cost-efficient and economically viable products when you buy our specialized super concentrated formulas, such as cleaners, disinfectants, deodorizers, and sanitizers. Additionally, we also carry professional cleaning equipment, such as mops, buckets, vacuums, doormats, and window equipment, which are very durable and practical. You can order any of our products online at www.ccpbelize.com. CCP Belize uses only trained technicians, professional commercialized equipment, and EPA certified products. Our products are 100% biodegradable. We also have certified green products, which are used by Green Globe approved companies. Visit us at 68 North Front Street, Belize City, or contact us at telephone 223-1820. Email us info@ccpbelize.com.
Hardware store, now we online giving you more. Home or job site, no stress, no sweat. Everything you need, you could get. Household appliances, day or night. Shopping for supplies made easy and light. Click, click, boom, and the order done. Building in Belize just got more fun.
Why wait long in a line? Save your energy and your time. Delivery pulling up right by your gate. Castillo's Hardware, making building great.
Build smarter, shop easier. Anytime,
anywhere, hardware shopping without a care.
Browse online, get what you need.
Fast and easy with lightning speed.
Pick up or delivery, choose your way.
Castillo's got you covered every day. From your phone, just tap and buy. No more hassle, no more.
Do it best with Castillo's Hardware.
Belize, you feel it yet? Carnival season there. Creole Heartbeat there too. One brand new showcase band celebrating for we Creole culture with rhythm, with pride. Come wear the beautiful costumes. We talking you on the road. Join the band. Call 600-7453 or email creoleheartbeat@gmail.com. Creole Heartbeat, come feel the rhythm.
Back to school tax-free days are here again. Saturday, August 15th and 29th. The Belize Tax Service is pleased to inform all consumers that General Sales Tax (GST) will once again be waived on eligible school supplies. In addition to the existing exempt zero-rated items, the government has approved the following school supplies to be GST-free for the designated period. The approved items are taxable items, tax-free for the approved days: pens, uniform material, ready-made uniforms, binders, folders, highlighters, markers, pencil sharpeners, calculators, regular and scientific, scissors, folder pages, graph paper, typing sheets, rulers, Bristol board, correction fluid, whiteout, eligible footwear, black school shoes and black tennis shoes, tape, brown paper, book cover, crap paper, newsprint, shop paper, liquid soap, glue, geometry set, lunch kits and boxes, socks, hand sanitizer and toilet paper. Exempt zero-rated notebooks, textbooks, workbooks, school bags, pencils, crayons, lead pencils, erasers, and pencil cases. Remember, check your receipts after purchase to ensure GST is not incorrectly applied. Report any abuse or non-compliance by calling 613-2773, 613-8375, 614-5731, or 613-2840. For further assistance or information, please visit or contact any Belize Tax Service office countrywide. Our team is ready to assist.
The BCCI's Expo Belize Marketplace is back and celebrating 30 years of Belizean innovation, enterprise, and business. Save the date and join us on Saturday, September 12 and Sunday, September 13, 2026 at the Marion Jones Sports Complex in Belize City from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Experience Belize's premier marketplace where entrepreneurship and opportunity come together under one roof. From exclusive deals and promotions to delicious food, drinks, and live entertainment, the Expo Belize Marketplace has something for everyone. Whether you're shopping, networking, discovering what's new, or simply enjoying the Expo vibes, this is one event you don't want to miss. Celebrate 30 years of business excellence with us at the Expo Belize Marketplace 2026, where Belize does business. See you there. Sponsors include
Belize, the king of soca, returns to the Jewel after 10 years. Marshall Montano with his full band and dancers to give you the encore soca and culture fest experience. The Belize Tourism Board, Belize Bank, Cellular World, and Digi, our national telecom, present the 12th annual Guinness Soca and Culture Fest. Sunday, September 20th at the Belize Civic Center. And if you think last year was great, this year will be even greater. Doors open at 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. Also featuring St. Martin's Juggling and Dancing Queen, DJ BB Bad, and General Super G, Belize's Soca Queen, Ernestine, Belize's Soca Don Dada, TR Shine, Belize's top DJs, plus more.
Get your tickets now. General admission $80, VIP $215, Ultra VIP $365, and limited sky deck for $500.
So mark the date for the 12th annual Soca and Culture Fest Encore Experience, featuring the King of Soca, Marshall Montano.
Sponsored by
It's nothing about censorship. I don't know how you could come to that. I think the big thing about the broadcasting authority is that now all of these online media people, blogs or whatever, that are taking advertisements and everything, also they have to be held to the same standards that you are being held. You all are at a disadvantage competing with these bloggers. These bloggers go online and they hear something and just put it out there without even checking whether it is so or not so, and all that kind of thing, and then they're collecting revenues. They're providing a kind of like a service to the public, and they need to be held to the same journalistic standards that you at Love and Creme, Channel 7, Channel 5 are being held to. And that's the main part of it. Technology has changed, so we can't continue using the same legislation that was addressing the technology of the 1990s. So we have to keep up with that. So it has absolutely nothing to do with censorship.
Welcome back. We continue with the evening news here on Love Television. The People's United Party has selected a new mayoral candidate for Punta Gorda. 28-year-old educator Maclovio Ak secured the nomination after defeating incumbent Mayor Carlos Obia Galvez and former Mayor Francis Doc Arzu Sr. at Sunday's convention. Ak will now lead the PUP slate into the March 2027 municipal elections. Suseli Shaw tells us more.
People's United Party will enter the next municipal election in Punta Gorda with a new candidate at the head of its slate. Maclovio Ak, a 28-year-old educator and newcomer to municipal politics, won Sunday's mayoral convention with 554 votes. Incumbent Mayor Carlos Obia Galvez received 392 votes, while former Mayor Francis Doc Arzo Sr. secured 209. The result gives Ak his first opportunity to contest the mayoral seat and ends Galvez's bid to return as the PUP's candidate.
We had a great turnout. This was one of the biggest conventions that we have had here in Punta Gorda, and I'm very grateful. And this is just one step of the race. I have one more to prepare for. I am going to get ready. I'm going to prove myself that I want to be the leader of this town. I plan to work with everybody. This is more than just politics. This is more than just the People's United Party. This is about our town. This is about Punta Gorda town. So we are going to work together and we will not leave anyone behind.
According to the PUP, 1,233 supporters participated in the closed convention at Toledo Community College. The party described it as the largest turnout recorded for a municipal convention in Punta Gorda. 12 candidates also competed for 6 positions on the councillor slate. Gloria Avila topped that poll and will be joined by Anthony Fuentes, Kerlin Moreira, Olivia Shaw, Indira Coleman, and Roberto Virus. PUP Chairman Henry Charles Usher was among the party officials present for the counting and announcement of the results.
We are very happy we're happy to see the support. We're happy to see the persons who have come out to offer themselves, the candidates themselves. We have 3 very good candidates running for mayor, and we have some very good candidates running for councillors as well. As I explained to all of the councillor candidates, the mayoral candidates, regardless of the outcome today, there's still work to do at the town council. They have to make sure that the town council's work, the mandate that was given to them in March of 2024 continues all the way up to February of 2027 when the council dissolves. And of course, we go into election mode, and we are going to again win as a PUP town council here in Punta Gorda.
Sunday's vote followed a 3-way campaign in which Ak, Galvez, and Arzu each made their case to PUP supporters. Galvez campaigned on his record as the sitting mayor, while Arzu sought another opportunity to lead the town. Ak presented himself as a young option with a different approach to municipality. Before the results were announced, Love News spoke with Ak and Arzu about what they hope to bring to Punta Gorda.
Well, to make a difference, new change, new vision, new light, so that we get new ideas, be more accountable, and that the people's voice is more heard, and that it is taken into consideration as we chart the way forward for Punta Gorda town.
We have been preparing. We have been doing our part. We have met with all of the residents, most of the residents here in Punta Gorda town. We have listened to their concerns, their issues, and it's left up to them who they want to address these issues and these concerns. And our machinery is ready. They're gearing up. They're here working, and I love to see what I'm seeing right now.
Ak is another active member of the Punta Gorda community. Earlier this year, he represented the Punta Gorda branch of the Belize National Teachers Union and became the first winner of the union's Mr. BNTU competition. His convention victory, however, only secures the party's nomination. Ak must now work alongside the 6 selected councillor candidates, unite the party following the internal contest, and convince the wider Punta Gorda electorate that the PUP slate should be returned to office. The PUP has made its choice. The final decision will come in March 2027 when Punta Gorda voters select the municipal team that will lead the town for the next term. Reporting for Love News, I am Cecily Shaw.
A police officer lost his life in a road traffic incident near Biscayne Village over the weekend. The collision occurred shortly before 3 o'clock and turned fatal for 46-year-old Armando Humberto Toledano of Progreso Village in Corozal. ASP Stacey Smith provided more details.
The Belize Police Department and the Ministry of Home Affairs and Enterprise express sincere condolences to the family and colleagues of PC 500 Armando Toledano of Orange Walk District. PC Toledano succumbed to the injuries that he sustained in a traffic accident, which occurred on Saturday, 15 August 2026 at around 2:50 p.m. near mile 27 on the Philip Goulson Highway. What we have learned so far in the course of the ongoing investigation is that PC Toledano was traveling on his Leifan brand motorcycle from the direction of Orange Walk to Belize City when, upon reaching near mile 27, a collision occurred between the motorcycle he was traveling on and a Ford Explorer that was traveling in the opposite direction. A notice of intended prosecution has been served on the driver of the motor vehicle, who has been cooperating with police and who has also provided a urine sample.
And while police continue to investigate what led to the collision, Toledano's death has brought renewed attention to the way officers get to and from their assignments. Police officers are required to travel across the country for duty, sometimes covering significant distances. In cases where officers rely on their personal vehicles or motorcycles to report for work. ASP Smith addressed the issue.
The department certainly strives to have officers posted as nearest to their homes. However, you would note that a vast majority of the staffing of the police department requires to, be workplace in Belize City Eastern Division, and there is also a policy of not wanting to have people be in communities that they're too familiar with. We have been striving to ensure that officers, as I said, are placed as close as possible to their homes, or that we put arrangements in place to enable their transportation. Well, the integrity of the investigation is paramount. Certainly, if there was a matter where life was at risk in terms of the persons in the traffic being upheld, that would take paramount consideration. But where that is not the concern, the integrity of the scene in terms of conducting a thorough investigation is the paramount consideration. Certainly, certainly the view is to do it as expedient as possible, but you cannot be expedient at the expense of being thorough. Yes, I believe there is a police bus. I'll have to confirm what was the status on that occasion, but they leave at particular time and maybe it was not as feasible for, yes, please.
At the time, the Ford Explorer SUV was driven by 61-year-old Alan Rodwell Jaban of Crooked Tree Village. And a 73-year-old farmer died following a road traffic collision near the Independence dump site on Friday morning. That incident occurred shortly before 8 o'clock between miles 41 and 42 on the Thomas Vincent Ramos Highway. Police responding to the scene found Luis Pau Sr. of Bella Vista Village seriously injured near a damaged motorcycle. His common-law wife, 39-year-old Lucia Peck, who had been traveling as his passenger, was conscious but complained of pain across her body. Police say both appeared to have been wearing protective helmets. A Ford F-150 pickup truck with damage to its right front corner side mirror was also found at the scene. That vehicle was driven by 52-year-old Punta Gorda lecturer Matthias Vairez. Pau received medical attention but later died from his injuries. Police have not released more information on how the collision occurred. Vairez was served with a notice of intended prosecution and provided a urine sample as part of the ongoing investigation. And a cyclist was killed and a motorcyclist injured in an early morning traffic collision between Billy White and Santa Familia villages in Cayo. The incident occurred at approximately 2:30 near a curve in the Carmelita area. Police say Ma suffered head and body injuries and later pronounced dead at the San Ignacio Community Hospital. Again, here is Officer Smith.
Police have detained a 26-year-old male person as a part of a ongoing investigation into a road traffic accident which led to the death of Marcelo Co, 37 years of age, of Santa Familia Village, and the injury of 26-year-old Aidan Humes of Santa Familia Village. The investigation commenced at approximately 2:32 a.m. on Sunday, 16 August 2026, when police were alerted of a traffic accident in Billy White Village. Initial investigation indicate that the detained male person was traveling on board a F-150 pickup truck from the direction of Billy White Village to Santa Familia Village when, upon reaching a curve in that area, collision occurred between that vehicle he was traveling and the motorcycle, which was being driven by Humes, as well as a bicycle that was being ridden by Mo. Both Mo and Humes sustained injuries in the course of the collision. However, Mo, who received grave injuries, succumbed while undergoing treatment. The circumstance of the collision remains under investigation.
Hume suffered body injuries and was transported to the San Ignacio Community Hospital for treatment, while Malen was detained shortly after the collision. Police are also looking into a burglary at Northern Fishermen Cooperative, where 4 masked men tied up a security guard and stole a metal chest. That occurred around 2 o'clock on Saturday morning, and the police say 47-year-old security guard Glenford Tucker was on duty when the men confronted him, tied him up. The intruders entered an office, removed a metal chest, fled the area. Police have not disclosed what the chest contained or its estimated value. The scene was processed, and they are expected to, of course, look at surveillance footage at the establishment. We'll bring you more news right after this commercial break.
If this is an emergency situation, please call 911 right away for immediate assistance. Do not use the Crime Stoppers program in an emergency situation. Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. Remember, the more information you give the officers, the more likely it is that we will be able to identify the suspect or confirm a crime has taken place. This ultimately helps when making arrests. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Never put yourself in danger to gather information. However, if you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Once you click Submit Tip, P3 will ask to send you notifications. You choose what's right for you. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Keep that info safe as you'll need it to check the status of your tip. Using the app, simply log back in using the PIN you created when you first opened it. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
Looking to perfect your roofing or siding project with precision? At Coop Sheet Metal, we've got the machine that makes it happen. Introducing our state-of-the-art double folding machine equipped with advanced technology and engineered to handle complex metal bends in long pieces, various angles, and intricate profiles. Need trims up to 21 feet? Coop Sheet Metal has what you need. From modern siding to custom flashings and fascia details, Coop Sheet Metal makes the products better, faster, and more accurately. For residential, commercial, industrial, or even custom roofing, siding, and trims, all at one place. If you're not sure what you need, we will walk you through it from start to finish. At Coop Sheet Metal, it's not just about metal, it's about variety, confidence, and flawless finish. That's Coop Sheet Metal, your one-stop metal source from start to finish. Call now at 823-0118 or visit coopsheet.com.
North, South, East, and West. Belize City will have the best Lobster Fest. BNS Beach and Northern Fishermen Cooperative presents Lobster Fest Beach Party. August 29th and 30th. Come be a part of this 2 days event at the BNS Beach. 3 3/4 miles George Price Highway. Food and drinks will be on sale. Then, who will be Belize's best chef? As we have lobster cook-off competition, kayak race, chocolate mud wrestling, greasy pole, bouncy house, and a whole lot more.
They can't stop you. Do what you want.
Live entertainment by Vida Mags and Taprit. So make it a date. Don't be late. August 29th and 30th, BNS Beach, Lobster Fest. Admission, $15 adults, $5 kids. Gates open at 10 a.m. Be there.
Traveler, are you?
Manholes play a critical role in keeping our sewage and drainage systems functioning properly. They allow our maintenance team to inspect, clean, and clear blockages. When covers are missing or compromised, the entire system and the public are placed at risk. Stealing or damaging manhole covers is a criminal offense and creates dangerous conditions on our streets and sidewalks. Motorists and drivers are reminded that it is an offense to park or drive on sidewalks. The weight of vehicles, large or small, can crack and dislodge manhole covers. In an ongoing effort to protect lives, property, and public infrastructure across Belize City, your Belize City Council continues its citywide manhole cover replacement program. Since the launch of this initiative, thousands of damaged or missing manhole covers have been replaced, improving safety, accessibility, and the overall appearance of our streets and sidewalks. Despite these strides, manhole covers continue to be stolen or damaged, creating serious risks for pedestrians and motorists, including severe injuries, traffic incidents, and damage to personal property. If you see a manhole cover that is broken, missing, or unsafe, report it immediately. Take a photo and share the location with us via WhatsApp at 673-9055 or by calling 227-2308. Remember, maintaining manhole covers requires a shared responsibility. Together, we can prevent accidents, protect public infrastructure, and keep Belize City safe for everyone. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
The Love Foundation and Angelus Press are helping students prepare for the new school year through a backpack and school supplies giveaway. The two organizations have partnered on several community programs over the years, with education remaining a major focus. The program provides children with backpacks, stationery, and other classroom essentials while helping to ease back-to-school expenses for parents. Deborah Sewell spoke about the program and the difference it is expected to make for those families participating.
We just, decided that it would be a great partnership with both Angelus. I mean, we work with kids, we've always worked with children, and Angelus, everybody knows this is like the number one stop when it comes to school supplies, and it would be a great partnership. So we have had a 6-year working relationship in these two communities. And it started out with a program called Empowering Communities to Empower Themselves. And so with that program, we hope that we provided capacity building and resources, hoping that these communities will be able to sustain themselves. It started out with just, providing employment for the men in the community, and then they started providing after-school program to the kids in the community. Since we've been working in those communities for the past 6 years, it is only right that we support them the best way that we can. But we've also seen where these communities have grown and they're supporting the children in their community in a lot of different ways. So these bags are a part of Community Day for the Majestic Alley group, who have raised the money to provide a day for their community. And then the St. Martin's group works alongside with the St. Martin de Porres Church, and they're having another drive which provides uniforms and sneakers and haircuts and stuff for the kids. So
the giveaway is the Love Foundation's wider effort supporting children and families. Senior citizens from Placencia, St. Bite, and Riversdale were honored on Saturday as the Rotary Club of Placencia hosted a special luncheon celebrating their contributions to their families and communities. The Rotary Luncheon for seniors was held at the Tipsy Tuna restaurant in the village. The event brought together residents aged 65 and older for an afternoon of food, fellowship, and appreciation, with transportation provided by the Rotary Club. Senior Rotarian and guest speaker Rene Villanueva Sr. reflected on his personal connection to Placencia and the wider peninsula. Villanueva, who is 76, recalled spending part of his childhood in the village where his father, Edward Arthur Villanueva, was born, and later met his mother, who had been assigned to the area as his first rural nurse. Villanueva spoke about the development of Placencia from a small fishing community into a major tourism destination, while recognizing the families that helped to establish and sustain the village. He highlighted the close relationship shared by Placencia, St. Bite and Riversdale, describing the three communities as one peninsula family with distinct traditions but common experiences. He said Placencia's fishing heritage, St. Bite's strong Garifuna culture, and Riversdale's quieter community character all contribute to the identity of the peninsula. Villanueva urged residents to preserve that shared history and pass its lessons on to younger generations. The address also focused on the wisdom, resilience, and service of senior citizens. Villanueva said seniors are the living libraries of their communities, having raised families, carried burdens, and helped to shape Belizean society. He commended the Rotary Club of Placencia for organizing the luncheon, saying the gathering demonstrated that the Peninsula seniors have not been forgotten, but continue to be respected and celebrated. And Calais Rose West was crowned Miss Universe Belize 2026 in San Pedro on Saturday night. West emerged victorious from a field of 8 delegates during the competition held at Mahogany Bay Village Resort. Samantha Jones was named first runner-up, while Raina Thompson finished as second runner-up. West is now expected to represent Belize at the International Miss Universe competition later this year. The event, however, received a wave of negative feedback on social media. Some viewers complained that the competition received limited advance publicity, leaving many Belizeans unaware of when and where it was being held or how they could watch it. The sharpest criticism came during the cultural presentation, when a backdrop identified as Guatemala's Tikal archaeological site appeared on the stage while delegates showcased Belizean heritage. Tikal is part of the wider ancient Maya civilization, but is located in Guatemala, not Belize. It quickly circulated online, with critics describing its inclusion as a significant cultural and production error. The controversy has also reignited scrutiny of the franchise's recent change in ownership. The Miss Universe organization reassigned the Belize license earlier this year to America's Events, a production company based in El Salvador, after the former Miss Universe Belize Foundation indicated that it intended to pause its operations and return in 2027. And with that story, we bring to an end tonight's edition of the Evening News here on Love Television. Thank you for choosing us. Stay with us. Right now, the latest weather report will be coming up, so you know what to expect from the weather. And of course, at 7:30, the business hour. Stay here for that. To all of you, thanks. Have a good night. I am Ernesto Vasquez.
Good evening, Belize. A tropical wave approaching the country will support an increase in moisture and instability. The 24-hour forecast for Belize and her coastal waters calls for mostly cloudy skies tonight and tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms will be generally isolated at first, then expect some outbreaks of showers and thunderstorms to develop over southern districts and along coastal areas, then gradually spread into most areas. Low temperatures tonight will be 77 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, to 72 inland, and 67 in the higher elevations. High temperatures for tomorrow will be 88 along the coast, to 93 inland, and 81 over the mountains. The wind will blow from the east at 10 to 20 knots, and the sea state will be moderate to rough. A small craft caution remains in effect for gusty winds and locally rough seas near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Operators of small craft should exercise caution. A low tide will occur at 7:16 tonight, a high at 1:12 a.m., a low at 8:30 a.m., and a high at 10 minutes past 2 in the afternoon. The sun will set today at 6:17 and rise at 5:36. The moon set at 9:40 tonight and comes up at 10:54 tomorrow morning. The outlook for Tuesday night through to Wednesday is for partly cloudy skies with isolated showers and isolated thunderstorms. In the tropical weather outlook, no tropical cyclone formation is expected near or over Belize and her coastal waters during the next 48 hours. And that's your evening forecast that was prepared here at the National Meteorological Service.